My name is Caroline Tait, and I work for the Indigenous Peoples Health Research Center, and I'm appointed to Women's and Gender Studies, so that's where I hold my appointment. And I'm Métis from McDowell, Saskatchewan. McDowell it's an interesting community because it is Métis, and it's also many Eastern European immigrants. So it's a combination. As I said, we grew up with bannock and pierogies. It's nice for my son and I to be back here because he enjoys going to his grandma's place. And my son's Tunisian, half Tunisian, so he's probably the only Tunisian Métis in Saskatchewan. I laugh when the day that he wakes up and truly realizes that he's an Arab Métis, because it is this very interesting identity for him to have. And so it does influence my work in the sense that I think that Indigenous people, we tend to have these categories of First Nations, Métis, but I think those categories are also changing in certain contexts. And so it'll be interesting to see what identities these children claim. Well, I'm trained as a medical anthropologist, and the research that I do and IPHRC is that much of what we do is focused on social justice and really focused on self-determination and equity for Indigenous people in the research process. We have two projects with the Saskatoon Indian Métis Friendship Center, and both of those projects are looking at positive aspects of Indigenous identity. And so the first one, which is a project that's linked up to a larger international project on resilience and mental health among Indigenous people, is that this project looks at citizenship and identity and really at what are the dynamics within Saskatoon between the Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal population. What we're looking at is the ways in which Indigenous people respond to racism, to negative stereotypes, and what their response is, but also then to look at the ways in which positive Indigenous identities are in the Saskatoon communities. Most of my research has been in the area of Indigenous women's health, but particularly around pregnancy and alcohol use. Even though there's very good scientific evidence around alcohol being a teratogen, the link to Indigenous women suggesting that the prevalence rates are much higher among Indigenous women is really unfounded. We don't really have the evidence. Since my arrival at the University of Saskatchewan, I have felt very, very supported, and I have felt that people have listened to the vision that we as Indigenous scholars, but also the vision of communities. So what we have had the feedback from our community partners is that they're very happy with what we have developed with them. We're really building a team, and we work very much like a team. So that, I think, is one of the most wonderful things about my job. The other is the community part of it. I love going into communities, and I love the relaxed nature of it. We laugh, we joke a lot, and then we get down to business and we talk about these very, very serious issues. So as we're talking about these very serious issues, there's a real sense of hope that things are going to become better, and that we actually can play a little part in doing that.